Hold it right there, Earthquaker. Stop that evil doing.
Your low-calorie threats mean nothing to me. Take that, Captain
And stop shaking.
Pajama Sam! Woo! It's a night thing. Call him Pajama Sam!
One of my first memories as a child growing up with video games was playing Super Mario 64 and Mario Kart 64 for hours on end. Living in a rural area in a small town, I didn't have many friends. I actually always pretended Mario came out of the TV after I had beaten a Grand Prix. Obviously from the title of this video, you can tell that isn't what we're going to be talking about today, but it's the perfect segue into this series as a whole. Video games have always been a big part of my life and upbringing, and this series is going to cover some of the games that have impacted not only my life, but maybe the lives of countless kids everywhere. Apart from Nintendo, the biggest publisher in my young childhood, was easily Humongous Entertainment. You may remember them from such classics as the Putt Putt and Spy Fox series. We'll cover those a little bit later, but for now I'm covering my personal favorite, Pajama Sam. Pajama Sam started in the year 1996 with the title No Need to Hide When It's Dark Outside. Of the three Pajama Sam adventure games worth talking about, the second one had the largest impact on me. Everything from its visual style to how they tackled the childhood fear of inclement weather oozes creativity and charm. Again, for a kid growing up in the country, this was a real fear. The plot of Thunder and Lightning is quite basic and accessible for small children. Sam, in a complete accident, completely halts an entire factory by overloading key infrastructure responsible for producing weather via a big red button. Sam's journey to collect the missing weather machines may not be the Herculean task of, say, killing a dragon or sealing the door to darkness, but it offers a more relatable story for small children, as running around collecting shiny things appeals to the small goblin brain in all of us. Just like with every other Humongous Entertainment game, there is a myriad of characters to meet, each with their own stories and personalities. You have Sam, the lovable innocent youth who's just trying to conquer his fears, voiced by Pamela Adlon, who also does the voice of Bobby Hill. You have Thunder and Lightning, partners in crime who just want to let the weather happen naturally and doing their literal jobs. The parts themselves are also colorful characters in their own right. They range from the wingnut for the sun machine, to a Y-pipe for the rain machine, to the downright adorable velocimometer, and finally the snowflake inspector. All of the office supplies are hilarious in their own rights as well, but my absolute favorite has to be Sheila from the complaints department. Calling her enough leads her to use an answering machine, which is just about as accurate as it gets. Never thought how much I'd relate to someone as so cynical as an adult working in an IT call center, yet here we are.
Hello, complaints department.
Something that always stood out to me with this and every other Humongous Entertainment game was the music. All of the Pajama Sam games are jazz-focused, which only adds to the relaxed vibes of the overall experience. Pajama Sam 2's soundtrack is no exception to this rule. Each area of both Worldwide Weather and Sam's house has a matching song that fits the overall theme. Sam's house is dark yet familiar, being a house during a night storm. The factory floor is loud and upbeat. And not to draw a connection between this and my last video, but can we just talk about the elevator music in the storage building? Such a perfectly fitting theme, complete with those squishy buttons. Which is a perfect segue into my other point about the sound design of this entire franchise of games. Every surface and area is clickable and provides small little moments that fit the section you click. These small details are probably one of the biggest things I'm nostalgic for with Humongous Entertainment. It encouraged kids to explore the area looking for solutions to puzzles, and rather than punish the player for clicking on something in the background, they instead reward the player with something fun or whimsical. My personal favorites for Pajama Sam 2 include the watermelon crate, and the cement smoother outside. I can't really do a playthrough without clicking on them multiple times. If I consider Pajama Sam 2 to be a perfect example of a great point-and-click adventure game, then Pajama Sam 3, You Are What You Eat From Your Head to Your Feet, is more of the same. And that's not a bad thing at all. It's a fantastic game in its own right. They absolutely did not miss with this one either, where the lesson to be learned is about good nutrition and not eating 20 boxes of cookies before dinner. Art style for this one? Good. Music? Good. Characters? Good. All of it? Good. The plot of Pajama Sam 3 is also quite straightforward, as was this last entry. Sam has to adventure around the island of Mop Top, finding the delegates of a peace conference for the missing food groups.
Mop top?
Yeah, Mop Top.
How the delegates find themselves needing help can vary just as it does in Pajama Sam 2. And you can even choose your own adventure yet again, however, with the improvement of choosing between 2 options for each delegate rather than preset seeds. By basic math, that gives you 16 possible options. Compared to Pajama Sam 2, You Are What You Eat has far less memorable characters to me, but those characters that are memorable are all the more special for it. A character I never thought I could relate to as much as I can is this egg right here. The man just likes condiments on his fries, even if they are a bit out there. I can relate, as I actually prefer mine with horseradish. Just like in Pajama Sam 2 with Sheila, Sam is once again out to make a poor worker's life miserable with the green bean that works this carnival.
Oops.
Darn these laces, they're always coming undone.
Probably my favorite character, though, would have to be Florette. Though she isn't in this game for very long compared to the other delegates, she leaves a lasting impact as you venture around the island to help her out. No, you get out of here! Rather than talk about Pajama Sam 3's music and rehash the same points, those being it's good, I wanted to talk about how ingenious the design of Mop Top is, and the fact that it's a massive allegory to Sam himself. All of this went way over my head as a kid, but if you look at each area, you can see different parts of Sam's body. The mountains are his teeth, the central waterway you travel along act as a circulatory system, complete with the main roundabout being a literal heart, Muscle Beach being just for his skeleton and muscles. The plumbers working in the blubberbs are plums. The construction site where you find Bean 47 is being built with cells. I can't get enough of it, honestly. The attention to detail here is probably what kept the game fresh for me all this time, in place of the inherent nostalgia that I have for Pajama Sam 2. Overall, Pajama Sam means a lot to me. Pajama Sam 2 in particular is probably the one I played the most as a kid, next to Putt Putt Travels Through Time and Spy Fox and Some Assembly Required. So much so, in fact, that I've even subjected my friends to my obsessions with this series by having one of my friends do a drunken run of Thunder and Lightning while I gave directions as fast as possible in a scene straight out of A Clockwork Orange. Sorry, Nelly. I wanted to use this chance to take a beat and talk about memorable bits of these games that have stood out to me, but for a lot of them, the entire thing is memorable. Being a small kid with little to no internet access or even real friends to speak of, I had to make do with what I had in a lot of times. Shout out to my friend Ben, who was as close of a neighbor as you could get, even though they were over a mile away. I think the whole point of this video, and by extension this series of these, is to share something that invokes any kind of nostalgia I have for the older games, and really just single-player games in general. Even now, if you put me in a room with the choice of every single live service multiplayer game to ever come out or will come out, or Skyrim, you'd better believe I'm out there getting rocket launched into space by the nearest giant while consuming thousands of potatoes. That's all I got for you, so if you'll excuse me, I'll have to go and make some spaghetti on a stick.
Hey kids, it's spaghetti on a stick.